Influencer and influencer marketing have become buzzwords in Korea. An influencer can be defined as a person who has an expert level of knowledge or social influence in their field. In the past, the routes to become a celebrity were limited, but now we see many people who become famous first through social media and then appear on TV. It all started with the advent of the internet. Blogging, which stands for web logging, appeared and created influencers. Then it was social media, most notably Facebook and Twitter. Now we are familiar with vlogging and YouTube. Companies depend increasingly more on these online celebrities for marketing their products and services. The influencer culture has taken root and is likely to thrive even further. But there's a downside to it too. Recently in Korea, some influencers, mostly YouTubers, were under fire for deceiving the public with their sponsored videos. Taking money under the table from advertisers, they pretended to have paid for the products out of their own pocket. Also, some influencer wannabes go over the top and do inappropriate things in order to become famous. This negative side of the influencer culture will continue to be in the media spotlight as the number and the power of the influencers increase. Pop artist Andy Warhol said, "In the future, everyone will be world famous for 15 minutes. What this quote also implies is that fame can be short-lived in the future. If you aspire to become an influencer, you also have to think about the do's and don'ts to make your fame last at least a little longer than 15 minutes. Online personalities have a wide reach than traditional media celebrities. So first I said online personalities. It's kind of a general term we use for people who are famous online, YouTube, bloggers, vloggers, etc. And they have a wide reach than traditional media celebrities. So traditional media celebrity would be someone who's in movies or is on TV. Sometimes Koreans make the mistake by just saying celeb or talent. A celeb is kind of slang. It's informal, talking about one celebrity. And talent is usually referred to a certain group or at least one actor. But entirely, we talk about famous people, sports stars, media stars, they're all celebrities. YouTubers, Instagrammers, and TikTokers have bigger audiences than professional actors. So in the first part, in English, we identify people where they are famous. So you could say online personality, but we get specific. So if the famous person is on YouTube, we say a YouTuber or YouTube star, Instagram or Instagram star. A few influencers are not 100% honest about their content they produce. They are doing product placement and acting as if they are not being endorsed by companies. So I said they're doing product placement. So again, in the Konglish Killer book, it is PPL. PPL is Konglish. Do not use it. It means people in English. So we say product placement. So you're paying to have your product advertised in a movie or TV show. And finally, they're not being endorsed by companies. It means to support, but also support financially. So for example, Samsung air conditioners, they endorse Kim Yuna, but Kim Yuna is endorsed by Samsung air conditioners. So if you're being endorsed, that means you're getting paid money for a product. And then endorsements are that would be the noun of the verb endorse. So if you're receiving endorsements, that means you are getting paid by a company to sell their product. The actions of some online content creators are not genuine. They are hawking products for companies and acting like they are paying out of pocket for them. So I said their actions are not genuine. Genuine means real or sincere. So for example, if you buy a fake Louis Vuitton bag, that's not genuine. Or if you have to apologize to someone and you don't mean it, that's not a genuine apology. And then I said they are hawking their products. So to hawk your products means to sell your products. It can mean aggressively or in a bad way. So for example, if you're walking in Korea, you're walking past a supermarket and the guy's like, balgi, balgi, man, he's screaming in the microphone. He's hawking strawberries. But, if you see someone online and they're trying to get you to buy something, it's kind of used in a negative way. We're like, oh, he's trying to hawk something, or he's hawking that product to me. And finally, I said paying out of pocket. So paying out of pocket means you're paying your own money and no one else is paying it for you. So a lot of times, if you go travel on business and your company allows you $50 a day in spending, but if you spend $60, you're paying $10 out of pocket. Or, if you have to pay for something extra, you would say, oh, I'm out of pocket $100. So it means you're paying something by yourself. Marketing using influencers is attractive to marketers because they don't have to spend a large amount of money while strategically going after their target customer. So when I say target customer, every company or every service has a target customer, and it's usually defined by sex, age, income. So if your target customer is women in their 20s to 30s who make above a certain amount of money and live in a city, that's your target customer. Or if you make kids products, you would say our target customer is children under 12. So to target customers used by businesses and marketing to talk about who they sell to. Advertisers can reach a certain demographic for less money by using social media influencers. So I said before about target customer, the word demographic is somewhat similar. Demographic is just a word to describe people of a certain age, a certain race, a certain area, a certain income. And finally, we said social media influencers. So again, we talk about in the Konglish Killer book, SNS. SNS is Konglish. So we say social media influencers and we say social networking, but we do not say SNS. Fame is fleeting online. Part of being an influencer is having personal character that the audience can trust. They also need to understand the pitfalls of social networking sites. So first I said fame is fleeting online. We usually just say fame is fleeting, meaning once you have something like fame, it goes away very quickly and easily. Or we would say glory is fleeting. So it means if you become famous, you really can't hold on to it for that long. I mean, you have to be very good to have fame for a very long period of time. And in the last part, I said the pitfalls of social networking sites. So a pit is kind of a hole in the ground and fall is when you fall down. So it's not necessarily a physical pitfall, but a pitfall can be something that's not tangible. So for example, if you're trying to save money and then you start gambling, that's going to be a major pitfall because you're going to lose money. Or if you're trying to study hard, but all your friends want to go out and party, that's going to be a major pitfall. So you want to avoid pitfalls. It's like avoid negative things that can cause you harm. Your 15 minutes can be up if you're not careful online. Influencers need to build a strong brand and navigate the ever-changing social media world. So in the first part, I said your 15 minutes can be up if you're not careful online. So in the text, we talk about Andy Warhol's quote about your 15 minutes of fame, that everyone will have 15 minutes of fame. But let's say, for example, you see someone drowning in the Han River and you jump in and save them. And the news reports on it one day. You got about 5 minutes of fame, but we would say, oh, that's your 15 minutes. Also, let's say you know someone who's an actor and they're famous on TV for 2 years, but then you never see them again. Their 15 minutes are up. Their 15 minutes are finished. So it doesn't necessarily mean 15 minutes. It just means a period of time when someone or anyone becomes famous. Thanks, guys. And please like